We are live. Let me know where you're joining from. Good morning from Nigeria. Let me know where you're joining from. And share the link. Share the link with other people. Share it on your status. Share it to someone that you love to have here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. How are you doing? How have you been? So thank you for always tuning in every Saturday. Thank you. And to those that have been sending their questions, thank you for always sending your questions. And in case it's your first time of coming across this podcast, this is Dear Talks, and where we get answers to questions that people have sent to us over time. So you send your questions to Voice of Grace, VOG, at gmail.com. So this is that online podcast where we answer questions. So get answers to questions. And in case you have any question here on live, you can just stick close and read behind. And when I'm done with the ones that have been documented, you can as well drop your questions in the chat or just send them to Voice of Grace, VOG at gmail.com. So this is where we get our answers to all of our questions. You're not limited to anything at all. So it's a free space, it's a safe space where you can ask your questions, things that you want answers to, and probably ordinarily, or it could be something that you just needed a second opinion, or you just wanted a form of a counsel, or just want another perspective to what is going on in your life, and you just like to hear. All right, so let me know if you can hear me very well. Let me know if you can hear me very well, and welcome if you're just joining. Let me know where you're joining from, and please feel free to share the link with others as well. All right, so today we have some documented questions already, and these questions, like I said, you send your questions beforehand and you get your answers, on live like this. So these are questions that have been picked from different people that send us questions. So what we do is we look at questions that look similar, so we don't have to go over same question again or every week. So we look for similar questions and we bring them together and discuss them, answer them on a single episode like this. So our questions for today's episode is around growth and how loneliness is attached to growth or transformation or success. So the first question I have here, and also feel free to drop your comments, your advice, or anything at all you have to say concerning any of these questions in the comments. All right. So this first question says, over the past 2 years, I have been working on myself intentionally. I have been reading more, setting goals, becoming more disciplined, paying attention to my emotional health, and trying to build a better life for myself. The problem is that the more I have grown, the more disconnected I have started feeling from some of my friends. Conversations that used to excite me don't interest me as much anymore. The things we used to bond over no longer feel meaningful. Sometimes when I share my goals and ideas, I feel misunderstood or even judged. I still care about these people deeply, but I feel like we are moving in different direction. The loneliness is starting to get to me because I didn't expect growth to create distance between me and people I genuinely love. Grace, is it normal to feel lonely when you're growing? And how do you know you have outgrown a relationship versus when you're simply changing? So this person is having some kind of issue. So he or she has some no some friends like every one of us do, you know. But the thing is that she had grown or he has grown over time. He has grown over time, and it looks like this person is getting disconnected from their friends as a result of their growth. This is their own perception to what is going on. So, sometimes in life, when it looks as if, oh, I used to be this person before, or I used to work as this person before. Now I've grown mentally, I've grown in my career, I've grown in my, in my pursuits, in my purpose, in the things I do. And it looks as if the friends or the kind of friends you used to have can no longer fit into, your schedules, your plan, the things you want to do. Like this person said that some of the things they usually do together are no longer meaningful to them. So they no longer are in sync. So I'm just trying to, let you just to give a summary of this question. And truthfully, it is one of the things that happen to most people. Is that one of the things that happen to most people that used to have friends and now probably they are now in a better position, or they're now doing a different job, or they are now, or probably as simple as relocating to another country or changing jobs. It can change the kind of people in your life. And even if you don't plan, you know to cut out those people, it's just like you guys are now drifting apart, because it's almost like you don't have the same thing to talk about, or you're having different things to talk about. Now my problem went from what used to be my problem. Now the things I want to talk about, or the things I see as hobby, or the things I want to do when I'm free, is no longer what I used to do when I was free before. Or probably I don't even have free times like I used to have before. And now this is becoming like an issue. Is becoming, oh, now that you're this, you no longer want to roll with us. And this is just what happens most of the time. And I just need to know that growth often changes your priority, but your value should not. It's normal for you to be experiencing growth, or to be, moving in an area of your life, be it in your career or even your family. For example, when you were single, you had all your time to yourself. You can decide where to go. You can decide to travel for a whole week. You can decide to, party all night. You can decide to do anything. But when you're married, your time is no longer yours. Now you have to consider your spouse. You need to consider them. If your friends do not understand that, your seasons have changed, or you're now in a different place, then that there will be an issue. Or even if you're married and now you have kids, now it's now, more work to do. Your free times are not the free times, the way you used to spend your free times will be different from now. Now, if you have any spare time at all, you want to either spend with your family or just be alone, or like before you want to go out. So these are just normal things that happen. Like I said, growth often changes our priorities. That does not mean that our friends are no longer our friends, or we no longer like them or love them, or they're no longer important to us. The truth of the matter is just that growth often change priorities. But one thing you want to remain constant is your values. Is your values. So the thing is, do you, before you start to experience growth, what you want to be for yourself is to have values. What are your personal values? What are the things that are valuable to you? What are the things that are non-negotiable? That even when you change or things start changing in your life, or when you start experiencing those, these things will remain constant. So that's why you want to have values. Okay, so people know you for who you are. They know you value your time, you value your job, they value your purpose. So when they see you advancing in those areas, they know that, oh, this is something that is dear to you. So it's not because you're trying to run away from them or you're trying to prove like you're no longer like them. So now they know what is driving you because you have values. So I just need you to know that. Okay. And also, I need to know that not everybody will grow at the same pace or in the same direction, and that is fine. That is okay. Not everyone, in fact, not everyone that you went to primary school or with high school or with college will be with you all through your life. Ask people that are well advanced in age, probably people in their 60s and their 70s. Not everybody that were their friend that they had as friends while growing up remained. Does that mean those people are bad or they as a person are bad? No, it's just, that's just life, and that is okay. The important thing is that you don't make people feel uncomfortable, or it's not like, they are bad people. If these people are not bad, just, it's not everybody you always be have as close friends. And even your close friends now later might not be your close friends again, but because your priorities has changed, your direction has changed in life. That's okay, but that does not mean they should be your enemy either. It's okay for me to see you, and all that we can say to each other is hello, how are you doing, how is the family. We might not have a lot of things to talk about, not because we don't like each other, but because we are now in different direction, we are doing different things, we have different things to talk about. We probably are saying once a year, and there's still some close friends, that they might even be seeing once a year, but when they see once a year, you think they see every day. Probably they chat, they call each other, and that is because they have things to talk about every day. But if you are my friend and probably, things have changed and now I'm doing different things, our directions are now different, or, we are just now having two different words. We are existing in two different words. The things we want to discuss, what we want to do will be different. That's also why I said earlier that one thing you want to have for yourself before you start, growing or outgrowing people or growing in any area of your life or advancing anywhere is values. You want to have your values. You want to know your values. You want to spell them out to people. You want people to know your value. Because one thing for you to say, this is my value, people to see you, acting your values. So you want to have your values. What are the things that are valuable to you? If it's family, if it's work, if it's religious, what is it that is valuable to you? What are your values? So you want to know your values. You want to embrace them. You want to, let people know about your values. And also, I need you to know that outgrowing a relationship does not always mean someone is bad. Like I said earlier, that we've outgrown each other does not mean we are bad. It's just that we have outgrown. For example, your shoes if you're in your 20s now, you can't be wearing the same shoes when you were 10 years old. Even if you love the shoes so much and you're like, oh, I'm not throwing these shoes away, I'm going to keep them with me every day, even in my 50s, I will still have these shoes with me. No matter how you love those shoes, you still cannot wear them. Does that mean you're bad? You're a bad person? Does that mean the shoes are bad? No, it's just that it doesn't fit you anymore. So that's just one of the best way to just explain this. I'm not saying these people can't fit. It's just that you're trying, and if you try to squeeze your legs or your feet into those shoes and you want to move around, it's going to be painful. So that is what it does to you when you're dragging with you people that are not in the same space with you, people that are not seeing life the way you're seeing it, people that you've outgrown and they are not trying to also grow in that area. These are people that your existence, your drives, the things you're doing are now two different words that separate, that are different. So if you're trying to fit into their life, or they are trying to fit into your life, one person will be uncomfortable, one person will not be comfortable, they won't be able to move freely, you won't be able to talk freely. And that is what happens sometimes when you have friends, and because you want to keep them close, or you still want them to be your friends, you will still have some kind of thoughts of, there's some things I can't discuss with this person. Oh, I can't say this thing for this person. With this person, they will think I'm proud. It's because, when you start to have things about your friends, when your friends to start to judge you, your own is too much. Why do you want to do this? It's not because they are bad people. It's not because they are jealous of you. It's not because they are envious of you. It's just because they can't see the world with your lens. You guys are seeing the world, with different lenses. You are from different words. Your values are different. And that does not mean their values are bad either. It's just that what is priority to them is not priority to you. And that is fine. Okay? And I also need you to know that some relationships are seasonal, like I said. Some relationships are seasonal, and also growth sometimes creates temporary loneliness before it creates alignment. So one of the questions this person asked is that now that I'm experiencing this growth that I've been wanting for the longest, is looking like I'm lonely, I'm alone here. The truth of the matter is sometimes it can feel that way, because if you have to probably do some extra shifts, or you have to do some take some extra courses, probably some professional courses, it might be lonely at times, because you feel like, oh, now I no longer have the friends I used to have when I was in college, where we go to read together, we go to lectures together, we do things together. Now I'm doing this alone. So that's one of the things that will happen. So I need you to know that sometimes, growth sometimes creates temporary loneliness before it creates alignment. All right. And let me say that before I forget, growth can separate you from familiar people before it connects you to compatible people. I need to hear that. Let me say it again. Growth can separate you from familiar people before it connects you. It connects you to compatible people. So this is what happens sometimes, because and that's because as humans, we are comfortable most of the time with familiar faces, familiar routes, familiar things, routines. We love routines. We love, this is how things are done. Things I'm familiar with. I am familiar with these routes. I'm familiar with these people. We love familiarity. We love things, keeping the things that we are used to. And when it's, we need to move out from that comfort zone of, our familiarities, the people that you're familiar with, the things that you're familiar with are taken away from us. It's almost like the world is crumbling. So I need you to know that that is not what is happening. It can be as a result of the growth you're experiencing. All right. So the second question here says, "Hi Grace, I feel like I am becoming I'm becoming a different person, but the people around me still expect me to be who I used to be. I have started setting boundaries, becoming more intentional about my life, and making decisions that align with the future I want. But every time I do, I face resistance from people closest to me. Some family members say I have changed. Others think I am becoming proud or difficult. What is frustrating is that I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I am simply trying to become a healthier version of myself. Sometimes I feel guilty for growing. Sometimes I feel guilty for growing because it seems to make other people uncomfortable. Grace, how do you help growing when the people around you don't understand your growth. So I need you to know that, like I said earlier, we are human beings and we are used to familiar faces, familiar things, routines, the things you've been doing over time. And we need to know that people often relate to the version of us that they are familiar with. People, so the thing is that most of the time, the people you have in your life now are in your life because they know this version of you. If they had known the version of you before now, they might not be in your life. And if they know another version of you, they might not be comfortable. So you need to know that most people in your life are in your life because of this present version of you. So it's okay for them not to be comfortable, not so much want an upgraded version of you. So I need you to really evaluate yourself. So when you're talking about another version of you, is there an upgraded version of you? Is it a better version of you? If it's a better, like this person said, that is a healthier version of themselves, then I don't think if there are people that are genuine, people that genuinely love you should not be uncomfortable. If we're talking about a healthier version of yourself, a better version of yourself, because when you're talking about another version, there's the negative, there's the positive. So if it's a better version of yourself, if it's a healthier version of yourself, and if these people genuinely love you, then they should be comfortable. Then they should embrace this new you, because this is now the new normal of you. So if these people genuinely love, don't because of that stop growing. Because I've seen people, because they want to hold on to some persons in their life, and because they're like, oh, this person doesn't want this version of me. No, okay, let me just stop. Because I know of people that probably they wanted to pursue a higher academic, certificate or kind of an achievement, and because they're not even yet married. This person, they are just dating, right? And they're like, oh, my partner does not want me to do this. They don't want me to go for this. And they stop pursuing. I'm like, no, if this person genuinely loves you and they want you to be a better version of yourself, then this is the better version of you. They should embrace it. This is the time you need those kind of people that call themselves your family members, your friends. This is the time they need to encourage you. This is the time you need their encouragement. And probably, like I said, I'm an advocate of effective communication. Probably this is the time you need to communicate to these people. They might not even know what they are doing wrong, or probably they don't even understand what you are doing. And even though you don't need to always explain yourself to people, but if these are people that are dear to you, if they're your family members, if they're your close friends, you might want to have a conversation with them and let them know, hey, this is the thing I'm doing. I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to grow in this area of my life. If you really love me, if you really care about me, you should encourage me. In fact, this is the time I need your encouragement. So sometimes those kind of conversations can work. And if after doing that and they are still not giving you the support, as they just still want to understand you, then probably they are not meant to be in the upgraded version of you. Like I said, not everyone will be comfortable with another version of us than they knew. So if these people after this are not comfortable with it, then probably it was never meant to be. So because you'll be doing yourself a lot of disservice when you're forcing people, like the example I gave earlier. If you've outgrown a particular shoe, no matter how beautiful you love it, no matter how beautiful, even if you want to keep it with you, you can't still wear it. You can't wear those shoes. You can't wear them. So if you're trying to force yourself to wear them, to put them on, you will be uncomfortable, and you might even end up, tearing the shoe or damaging the shoe. So you don't want to damage each other. You don't want to damage this person. They don't want to damage you. So if they are not fitting into the upgraded version of you, the better version of you, the more healthier version of you, then probably they are not meant to be in this new phase of life with you, and you don't need to force it. All right. All right. So let me just take the last question. It says, Grace, I've always prayed for growth, opportunities, and progress. But now, but now that some of those things are finally happening, I feel surprisingly alone. The higher I grow in my career and personal life, the fewer people seems to understand the pressures, responsibilities, and challenges I am carrying. Sometimes I don't even know who to talk to because most people only see the success, not the sacrifices behind it. There are days that I miss simpler times when life felt easier and relationships felt less complicated. I feel grateful for my growth, but I also feel lonely in ways I never expected. Grace, why does success and growth sometimes come with loneliness? I've explained this earlier. These are things that often happen. Sometimes it can look like it's lonely. I don't know if you heard of this before. They say it's lonely at the top. It can be real, because it's lonely because the people that you used to be with are no longer, especially, and that is why as you're growing, you want to encourage, if you have a spouse or you have a partner or you have close friends, you want to also ensure and encourage them to grow. Because if as you're growing and your friends and people that are with you are not growing, a point will come that you guys will outgrow each other. And that is what happens when one person outgrows the other person cannot fit into that, they can't fit into that space again. And that is why as you're growing, you want to ensure that your spouse, your close friends, or your family members are growing with you. And even though you cannot insist, you can't force them to grow or to choose growth or to choose transformation, but you owe it to yourself to keep on growing. Not because they are not growing, oh, I'm not going to do this. You keep on growing. And that is where it becomes lonely, because these people are no longer with you. These people are no longer in your life. These people are no longer in the same environment with you. And probably the new space you're in now, it's, you are taking time before you start building relationships or before you start having friends, and that is where it becomes lonely. Or probably because now you're in that space and it's more demanding, you're wanting, you need to do more, probably do some extra times, and it can get lonely at times. Okay, so I don't know at this point if you have any question for me live, just drop them in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe if you're yet to. All right, so I'm beginning to wrap up now. I need you to know that every new level comes with new responsibilities. Every new level comes with new responsibilities. I also need you to know that growth can reduce the number of people who relate to your journey, like I said earlier. All right. And I also need you to know that success often highlights who supports you and who only likes you and who only likes your comfort zones. All right. And lastly, loneliness does not always mean you are on the wrong path. Because that is once most people say, oh, because now that I'm lonely now, it looks as if I'm the only one touring this path. Does that mean I'm doing something wrong? Does that mean I'm a bad person? No, such is life. Such is life. At one point or the other, I think it's not just, I think the word is probably not loneliness. It is aloneness. You're now alone. You're by yourself. There's one thing for you to be lonely, and there's one thing for you to be alone. You're probably alone. You're feeling like you're alone. You're no longer walking in parks, like you used to. However, you're in high school or when you're in college, you walk in parks and you do things with friends. You're doing things in groups. But now you're probably going for that master's alone. You're doing that PhD alone, or you're, working for that promotion alone, or you're starting that business alone, or you're starting that relationship alone. So it's almost looking like, oh, I used to have people around me. I used to have everyone do this with me. But for this particular season that I'm in, looks like I'm all alone. All right. And as I want to also encourage you to grow, like I said earlier, I will also want you to ensure that you encourage people around you to grow. For example, you're taking a course that will advance you in your career. when you have friends or family or people close to you, you can also tell them, I'm taking this course. I don't know if there's any other thing you can also do. This is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. So they will know that you're not intentionally cutting them off. It's not intentional to drift apart. Also encourage them to do things, especially things that they've told you they wanted to do. This is not you forcing them to do what you're doing because your paths are different, right? But let's say someone that always wanted to produce an album, this is the time to encourage them to also maybe start with a single or just go to the studio and record your songs. You want to also encourage them to pursue their dreams and to grow. When you're reading a book, or I just finished reading this book, I would love for you to also read this book. So that way, you can still keep those people if you want them and if your values align. You guys can grow together. I've seen people that, friends that have been together for over 30 years. So that was intentional. They were intentional with building that friendship. And there were some that probably they started up with probably friends of 5, but now it's just 3 of them that are still very close. The other 2, it was because they were left behind, not because they were left behind, but because they did not grow. And it's okay if we are all not growing at the same pace. We can't all grow at the same pace. That's the fact, because we have different opportunities, we have different platforms, we have different paths, our seasons are different, our opportunities are different, our contacts are different, our purpose is different. So the important thing is just to grow. We don't measure our growth by another man's growth, or we don't measure their own growth by our own growth. Nobody is the standard. Your standard is your purpose. Your standard is your path. Your standard is who you are meant to be. So we're not saying, because I'm growing at this space, they should also go at this space. No, the important thing is you're growing. You are becoming your wanting, because it starts from desire. You're desiring to be a better version. You're desiring the growth. So it might not happen at the pace that you want, or it's happening at the pace that you reach that your friend is growing. But the important thing is that they are becoming better. They are thriving to become better. And they are working towards it. It's not just, oh, I plan to, or I wish. No, they're not wishing and hoping. They are actually doing the work. And you can see that this person is trying to, grow in this area. So those are the questions that I have with me, concerning these topics. So do not forget to always send your questions to voiceofgracevog@gmail.com, and we answer all of those questions every Saturday, 6 a.m. West African time. If you're here to like, please like the video. Let me know your comments. What do you think about the questions that have been asked today? Do you have any question? Please drop them in the comments. And if you're yet to subscribe, please do subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will always get notified whenever I come live, or any video like this is being uploaded on my page. All right, do we have any question? Please like the video, like and share with someone, share with your friend. In fact, this can be one of the things you can share with your friend. Okay, just to encourage them to grow, just to encourage them to also be a better version of themselves, right? All right, so we do not have any question here. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Until I see you in my next video next Saturday. And do not forget to join Uncomfortable But Necessary. It's a podcast where we have conversations about topics or things that sometimes uncomfortable, but these are necessary questions or necessary issues or conversations which you have as individuals. So that is where that happens, on Uncomfortable But Necessary podcast. But it's also here on my YouTube channel, this particular YouTube channel, Grace Odushe 6. So you can just check through some of the episodes and the past episodes. It comes up every Thursday. The premiere is every Thursday, 6 p.m. So you can do well to turn on notifications, send a reminder, or just check through, or just search through, some of the videos that have been sent, the past episode, and I'm sure that it's really going to bless you. So presently we are, having a series on trauma. So this, see, you don't want to miss this, and you can just go through the last episode on uncomfortable but necessary, still on this channel, Grace Olushesi channel. So you see it, I think it's on the video. Just check through the podcast. We're having the last series on that topic this Thursday, this coming Thursday. So we're having the last topic for the series of that. So thank you, and do have a beautiful weekend. Bye.